Hello, this is Matthew Soroka for the Top Keys, and we're here with Honorable Seiveright.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this gentleman is probably the most inspirational person that I've met so far in this wonderful NABHOOD convention or conference. Yes. I like to talk about what you've done first with the government, because you've told me about some of the financial and economic impact you've had, but also then I want to know about your journey.
Okay.
So let's first talk about the government and what you've done with that.
So I'm the Minister of State for Industry, Investment and Commerce in Jamaica, which is Jamaica's business ministry, right? It's one of the more powerful ministries in government that drives just everything related to business. You know, we have the Companies Office of Jamaica, so all companies are registered there. We have the Bureau of Standards, all the standardization issues are there. We have JAMPRO, which is our Trade and Investment Agency. We have our Special Economic Zone Authority. And I could go on and on and on, but multiple agencies doing a whole lot of work across government, about 20 agencies really. It's a unique time. My government won the election again September last year. Then we got hit by a Category 5 hurricane. I mean, you can't make this kind of stuff up, right?
Right.
And it was a Category 5 plus hurricane. It was one of the strongest hurricanes on record, Hurricane Melissa. And it really did damage in sections of Western Jamaica in particular.
Right.
So we've literally now sort of moved into that rebuilding or reconstruction phase. But I think a lot of people are impressed about how fast it has happened. We were able to get electricity back in Jamaica nearing 100% in the space of 3 to 4 months, which is quite spectacular. Wow. Hurricane Maria, when it hit Puerto Rico, it took 11 months for electricity to come back in full. So people are really impressed by those achievements. And then beyond that, it is every crisis, there comes opportunity. And we're saying, this is a horrible crisis. How do we now make good from this? And we're seeing transformative projects starting to take root. We're building new institutions like our Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, really to game change Jamaica, use this as an opportunity to start fresh in some places. And that's what we're about now.
Well, that really tells you a good story right there, that not only have you battled adversity, you've come back even stronger.
Yeah.
And, you talked about two things that I really want to mention. One is that your increase in the amount of investment that you've had and also reduction of your crime. Yes.
Certainly on the economic front for many years, Jamaica had a problem with debt, right? At one point it was about 140% of our GDP was debt. So for the total value of all goods and services in your economy, let's say that's $1. We had $1.40 in debt.
That definitely doesn't bring business in.
No,
how long did it take from going from that down to about 70%?
Several years. We started a program, and thankfully it transcended 2 administrations, 2 different governments, because Jamaica's a democracy. We have elections every 4 or 5 years. So, but we have had a very steady economic management program to really cut the debt. And what we've done is to cut it in half. So we're now down to under 70% of GDP, which is great. What that has done is to unlock resources that we never had to, fund our schools and our hospitals and fix our roads and address other issues and really drive investment for Jamaica. So it's been a big game change for us. And then, of course, the other big problem we had was, the perception of crime in Jamaica. Jamaica is a big tourism country. But, people would always ask, is it safe? Is it safe? And the truth is we did have a problem in certainly some communities in Jamaica had very high crime rates. Country by and large is peaceful, but there are some communities because of gang violence, issues like that really was a scourge.
The biggest one was that people didn't want to go past the resort.
Correct, and this perception that it's not safe. And we really have done a lot of work to cut crime. So we've literally cut murders in half in Jamaica, which is a huge achievement. And we have brought crime to its lowest levels in decades.
So that also opens up the possibility, like in a resort section where tourism comes in, people want to just do business inside the resort area and don't go outside to the locals.
Correct.
Now, because you have less crime, people are going outside.
People are willing to go outside even more. But really it's a perception, because the truth is many parts of Jamaica are safe. I mean, a lot of us have never been impacted by crime in Jamaica, but the perception was that, the place is violent. And we did have a high crime rate, so that's true. And now we've cut that in half. And we're saying to everybody that, listen, Jamaica is safer. The US government has even recognized it, and they have improved our travel advisory ratings to say, yes, there's a lot of improvements in public safety. And we're really happy about that. We want to continue to sustain those successes, so much so that our police are in demand. Our police are also in the Turks and Caicos Islands, addressing some issues that they had.
Right.
The commissioner of police there is Jamaican, who was a deputy commissioner in Jamaica. He's now in Turks and Caicos Islands, helping to drive policing strategies and so on. We've learned a lot. We have great partners. The United States, of course, a great partner. The UK, other countries, and we've really modernized how we have handled crime management across the board. So even gangs in Jamaica, we've cut gangs in half in Jamaica. Yeah, 300 plus gangs, now it's just 100 plus gangs, and we continue to have a lot more success on that front. So we're really happy about that. I want to bring people in.
Okay, so now let's take a little step back, and
Yes.
I want to talk about your journey.
Yes.
What made you get into this role? Well, give me back
Okay.
when you were younger. What made you start that? What would you
It's
do?
kind of hilarious.
Give me
All
a
right.
summary.
So I was born in the mid 1980s.
Okay.
You know, so I'm still relatively young, right? When I got to university in Jamaica, I did my bachelor's degree in political science and international relations, right? And when I got to university, I don't know, I just sort of got interested in politics. And, at the time, there was one party that was in power for a very long time,
Right.
which is now the opposition. They were in power for when I got to university for many years. So it's what we knew. And there was this fervor for change, wanting a difference, and I just got active overnight on campus. I guess we're young, you get,
think you could change the
you
world.
get triggered, we can change the world, we can change everything. I got involved on campus, and then I became president of the political youth arm at the university then. And then eventually I got more active. I got to know a lot of people. So I got to know the prime ministers and, persons in politics. And then I just kept on going up and up and up. Okay. Eventually I got to know the general secretary of the party that I'm a part of. And funny enough, I'm now the member of parliament for his constituency, because he has now retired from politics. Carl Samu, the famous Jamaican politician, 45 years as a member of parliament, one of the longest serving parliamentarians in the world, right? So you kind of learn a lot from that. And then I got active in the space, and eventually, fast forward, I became an advisor to the Minister of Tourism, who is also another veteran politician in Jamaica, Edmund Bartlett, very well known in tourism circles here and all over the world. Learned a lot from him, being an advisor in tourism, and that's why I got to know Andy Ingram and all these folks. And then eventually I became a senator for a few months, and then the election was called last year. And I threw my hat in the ring, replaced a long-time veteran. And here I am now as the Minister of State for Industry, Investment and Commerce, and also a member of Parliament. And there's a lot of fast forwards in that story.
Obviously, there's a lot of hurts and milestones you have to.
It's love for people. I love people. I like fixing problems. I'm a very busy person. I think you are too. I get that impression from you, because I think you do multiple things. But I'm always busy, and it's good to channel your business in good and just doing good.
So if you were to give a message, what your keys to success would have been?
Focus, not giving up when the times get rough. I think that's a problem. A lot of people are too quick to give up and just throw in the towel.
Well, that's everybody.
Yeah, that's everybody.
It doesn't matter who you are or what background you have. Absolutely. Adversity really shows the person.
But also being prepared. And I always tell people, just be prepared.
What are you, a Boy Scout?
If you gotta study, you gotta get ready, and so that you must always be in a position that when that apple drops, you're there to accept it. Okay. And I think a lot of people end up walking away, and then the opportunity comes and they're not there to reap that opportunity. So always be prepared. You just never know what can happen.
Is there anything else that you like to actually address or tell people about?
One more thing is, Jamaica is open for business. We're a very open country. If you want information in Jamaica, it's easy. Everything is online. We have a website for the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
What is that website?
Which is miic.gov.jm. right? And then we also have Jampro. So you can Google Jampro, Jampro, which is our trade and investment agency, which falls under the Ministry of Industry, Investments and Commerce. And they will help you literally if you want any assistance in setting up a business, what the rules are, what the taxes are, how do I register a company, everything. They will guide you. They will give you hands-on advice on how we can achieve success.
What's the next thing that Jamaica wants to do?
Oh, so many
How
things.
to conquer the world. What do they want to do next?
Well, we need to qualify for the next World Cup, I can tell you that. We need to be at the next World Cup for sure. Our reggae boys will have to get to the next World Cup. But beyond that, really, is we are a holistic country. We love people. It's a loving place. We want investment, local and international. We have a lot of local companies that are doing well. Sandals International is one. Seiveright, Grace Kennedy, these are well-known companies in certain regions. We want a lot of more investors from the United States in Jamaica investing. So much opportunity there.
Very nice.
Good.
Well, I really wish to thank you, appreciate you for being on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Last comments that you would like to say to our audience?
Continue to listen. Matthew knows what he's doing. He's on top of everything, and he's a doer, and he gets things done. And always focus on success and focus on being positive at all times. Be positive.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Good.
And this has been Matthew Soroka for the Top Keys. Thank you for joining.